You know,
What's going on, guys? This is Rice Cake for the win here. So I hope you enjoyed my first video that I made with all the mixed up footage. And with that said, this was my true intention of making a tutorial from all those video clips for those that are kind of insecure or kind of sketchy on riding the rain. These tips are meant to really help out those riders that need more confidence, and these are the same tips I use for myself. So if for those of you that have ridden in the rain, I guess you could ignore the video or just fast forward it or push mute if you don't want to listen to me. So okay, tip number one is having the right gear. You can see my jacket's wet, my pants, you can't see it, but they're wet, and so are my feet. But the thing is that makes a difference is I'm wearing the right gear. The jacket's waterproof, so are my pants, which have padding, and my boots are also waterproof. All helmets have liners in them, as you can see in the visor. I have it cracked open a little bit because they tend to fog really bad, so I just crack it just a tad bit open, just enough where the water can't get in. So having the right gear, like I said, really contributes to the comfort factor of riding in the rain, and also keeps you warm. And if you're really riding in colder weather, thermals do help out. Some people say buy motorcycle specific thermals. I disagree. Any, and I mean any thermal that you can get at Walmart or any sporting goods store works. So with that said, move on to tip number two. Tip number two is riding positioning and inputs into the bike. We'll start off with riding positioning. Riding positioning actually shouldn't change. Keep in mind that the more angle that you put into the bike when you're turning, the less grip that you have. Also put into the factor that when you're turning, you still have to get your butt off the seat of the bike. Put that into your favor, that the more when you get off your seat of the bike, the more upright the bike could stay. So that means you got more grip and more you got more braking grip. So that said, if you keep the bike more upright, it's safer. And don't even try to shoot for it unless you want to. I wouldn't see how anyone would want to, but don't try to do max lean or try to knee down in the rain unless you're actually racing. But yeah, this is the street. There's no forgiveness out here for show-offs. But anyways, putting inputs into your bike. That's your throttle, clutch, braking. Anything that you do into your bike, you need to be smooth with it. Your throttle has to be smooth, your braking has to be smooth, your shifting has to be smooth, your clutch action has to be smooth, everything about it, because you can't be sketchy riding in the rain, because your bike does have limited contact with the pavement, and it's a lot worse now because it's wet. So you're gonna feel every difference with your jabbiness and your sketchy inputs. Maybe in the dry you can't really tell. That's why a lot of guys that I've talked to that ride in the rain, they say it kind of helps out your riding to ride in the rain, is because it smooths out your inputs and smooths out your riding ability, and you know exactly what inputs that you're putting in the bike, and it helps you yourself improve as a better rider. But other than that, I think that was tip 1 and 2. I'm not sure if I put tip number 3. Tip number 3, I'm just gonna throw this in as a freebie, like I'm charging you anyways. But anyways, tip number 3 is knowing the road conditions, knowing where you're gonna be riding, and try not to ride at night in the wet. Riding conditions should be known. Always check the weather before you ride. And if it rains and it's the first rain of the season, try to stay off the road for the first hour or so and let that oil residue wash off. But if it's been raining continually that week and it's a little bit dry, you should be good. Also, don't try to ride at night in the wet unless you're kind of comfortable with it already. But other than that, I think that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's such a huge spectrum of tips that you can use for riding in the wet. I'm gonna put a link down that really helped me out when I first started riding, and I hopefully help some of you feel a little bit more confident riding in the wet. So Tip number 1, ride with the right gear. Tip number 2 is riding positioning and throttle inputs and input into the bike has to be smooth. And number 3 is knowing the right conditions of the road and knowing when to ride. So other than that, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and take care, and hopefully talk to you guys later soon. Bye.